let me, as I said, look at Singapore as a case study. And what do I want to do with you? First of all, I'll give you a very short reminder of statistics and facts about the country. I will also show you how, if you think that you're in the wrong place in the world, how much worse it can become. How really you can be in the worst place in the world. I will do a quick and dirty competitive analysis. Perhaps I will not spend too much time on it. And then I will give you my very subjective view on what the government has done and how I and other people as foreign talent have played a role in it. I will also then give you an indication of some of the caveats and the challenges. As I said, I will give some personal comments as an insider-outsider. Now, just to give you some facts and figures, and I have to admit, I downloaded this from the CIA fact book, so it may not be the official statistics as they are given by Singapore. They were also taken at the moment that the US dollar was very low. So it probably gives a slightly better view of what Singapore is than what it is today. But what is interesting to see here is it is a very small country, 710 square kilometers. Compare that to your own country, which is about 45,000 square kilometers. It's a very small place. It has about 3.5 million locals and about 1.5 million foreigners, foreign talent. It has a GDP of about 220 billion US dollars, or if you take it in purchasing power parity, it's slightly higher. In other words, cost of living is still relatively low compared to other countries. And then you see, I put in the growth 2009, 2010, 2011. This country has not escaped the crisis either. Minus 0.8%, minus 1% growth, or a loss of 1% in 2009. 14% growth in 2010. 5% last year, and the predictions for this year are around 2 to 3%. So it's a big yo-yo. It's not that it is all smooth sailing there, right? Sometimes we suffer from the crisis, we're very exposed to the crisis, sometimes we do well. Unemployment is basically unexisting. 2.2% is what you have if you count all the handicapped and people who don't want to work or who are temporary out of job in between two jobs and take off a bit of time. That's when you get the 2.2%. And it's a relatively small government. We all know that the government in Singapore is everywhere. But actually, when you look at the budget of the government, it's a relatively small government. It's only 15% of the overall GDP, which is relatively small. And as I said, it's a small country, 710 square kilometers. It is not always the most productive country. There are huge, if not, there are vast, if not huge, reserves of productivity improvement possible in Singapore. And when you look at that list, you see that if you take the United States, which are still the most productive country in the world, that direct competitors like Hong Kong are much more productive, that even the UK, where I happen to live for 4 years, and I'm not sure that I believe these statistics when I see the United Kingdom. But anyway, it's pretty high, better than Germany, Sweden, Italy, the Netherlands, and then you see Singapore. The point is that the productivity of Singapore is still around 60% of what it is in the United States. In other words, the world is not perfect there either. The competitive context is no natural resources, except for people who are willing to work hard and who have a bit of what I call a Confucius-based mentality, work ethic, and a very mercantile culture. They all like to make a buck. They all like to trade, and they all like to make some money.